Welcome students of CBSE board class 10th. Today I am going to teach you the chapter chemical reactions and equations. So now in that is chapter 1, and in this chapter what we are going to read is chemical reactions. Now you have seen in your life that how if we keep there are so many chemical changes which take place in our daily life. Like suppose the milk is left for the long duration in summers at room temperature, it gets sour. Or the iron or any iron things which are kept exposed to humid atmosphere for the long time, so the iron get rusted. Grapes are fermented and food is cooked, and the food gets digested in our body or we respire. These all are the chemical changes which takes place. And suppose we do any experiment, like we burn magnesium ribbon. So what happens is it after burning, it becomes magnesium oxide. So from these activities, we just come to know that during the reaction, there is a state change in the state, change in color, evolution of gas, or change in temperature. Okay. Now the chemical equations. When we talk about the chemical equations, now I was just talking about magnesium when burned in the presence of oxygen, it becomes magnesium oxide, and it's the product. So magnesium plus oxygen, they both are the reactants, and magnesium oxide is the product. Okay. Now secondly, we just come to writing the chemical equation. While writing the chemical equation, uh, always we write the symbols. We use the symbols of the elements which are undergoing the chemical reaction. For magnesium, we'll write Mg, and for oxygen, we'll write O2. So Mg plus O2 is equal to Mgo. So now, if we see the chemical equation, Mg plus O2 is equal to Mgo. So we have to balance that the number of reactants should always be equal to the number of products. Now the reactants are on the left hand side and products are on the right hand side of the chemical equation. So Mg is 1 and oxygen O2, because it cannot survive in a single state. So the equation becomes MgO. So now in this O, to this only there is only one O. So we have to balance it. So what we'll do is we'll write 2 in front of MgO, 2 MgO. So oxygen will atoms of oxygen will become 2, and magnesium will remain 1 on the left hand side. So we'll write 2 Mg plus O2 is equal to 2 MgO. Now, in this way, we balance the chemical equations. In the same way, we take zinc plus sulfuric acid. So it becomes zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. So again, we have to balance it. And for balancing, same phenomena is undertaken. That Zn plus H2SO4 is equal to ZnSO4 plus H2. Now, if we see for balancing, we have to see all the elements. Zn, one atom. H2, 2 hydrogen, S, sulfur 1, oxygen 4 atoms. So ZnSO4, Zn1, sulfur 1, oxygen 4, and rest is H2. H2 is also 2. So it is the balanced equation. So we need not to do any balancing in that. Now in the same way, we can try the chemical balancing of this equation. Fe plus H2O is equal to Fe3O4 plus H2. Now for web balancing, let me take a copy and then I'll just show you how to balance the equation in the copy. Now see, in this copy we can you can see that I hope it is visible to you.